Yes, and I want to add something in that too, because what I've always, since that moment in time, really, and I understood that, what I always tried to do is bring value to the table with every single interaction. And imagine if everybody was actually trying to bring value to consciously saying, what value can I bring to this human being? What value can I bring? Imagine what the world would look like. Those guys out there that get to manipulate all of this stuff and lie and lie and lie, they couldn't get away with it. They couldn't get away with it. Integrity is everything to me. I do what I say. If I'm suggesting you do something, it's because that's what I'm doing for myself, where I'm not going to tell you. But most people tell you what you should do, and they aren't doing it. So, yeah, it's living a life with integrity. And even if you don't know what your value is at this moment in time, just be open. And the universe will tell you, maybe you have to be knocked down to the very bottom before you can open your eyes and see. And then maybe an angel comes in. And maybe you're that angel, Jake, for some people. Maybe I'm that angel for some people. They're all around us, just if you care and you bring value, then yeah, it's going to have an impact. And it's more important than gold and silver and everything else. But imagine what an incredible community and an incredible world this would be if all everybody ever did was bring value in every single interaction. Be amazing.
Hey guys, I haven't done a video in a while, but I saw this video from Lynette Zhang, and I was having dinner with my brother, and I was talking to him about this, and I was explaining how this video, what she said, it kind of helped me express one of the problems I had with the Jehovah's Witnesses, is that we didn't bring anything to the table as elders. Now follow me for a second. Jehovah's Witness elders, you have all of these men, and they're preoccupied for what? To give a 45-minute speech back in the day, and then 30, and now anything. But just preoccupied about getting on the stage. And at the end of the day, you're not bringing any value. Because every weekend it's the same old people, the same old men going up and pontificating. And they're not really bringing any value. And I started giving an example. For example, there was a guy where I grew up with. He wasn't going to be a Jehovah's Witness, but his mom was, and he loved being part of a choir. He was part of the Yuma High School Choraleros, and he loved music. And I told my brother, I go, this is an example of the wasted talent of our religion. Is that here we have a man. I'm going to give you a couple examples, right? Here you have a guy who has a natural born talent to understand music, to understand the singing, and not just any kind of singing. There's different types. There's choir, barbershop harmony, rock, and just all kinds, backup singers and lead singers. So there's a science behind every endeavor we take. And this man, when we were growing up, he had, a young guy, he had a natural talent. You could tell that it was God-given talent. And instead of using his talent for the good, and say, hey, you got something special, of value. Go to school, learn about this trade, and then come back and be in charge of our church choir, be in charge of teaching our children and our adults. And many of them will pay even a monthly service to be able to be part of a choir group. So when Christmas time comes, or when other celebrations comes, or even weddings, people can put on their nice suits and then they go singing. So we basically threw that away. We threw away talent. We didn't bring anything good to the table. So my brother is like, yeah, he goes, I saw a church where, he goes, everybody there was a guitar player. And he goes, 4 or 5 year old kids, playing guitar, and 80-year-old men, everything in between. But everybody was there with a guitar. And can you imagine the drum section and then the piano and so forth? So that's what it means by bringing value to the table. So whether you call it a church or anything else, at least there's groups of people, other places that are bringing value. Hey, we're going to meet on Sunday. Why don't we bring value to the table? I'll give you an example. It says, what if you're, a single mother, and a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses, they get women and they're trying to prey on their fears because they know that they want to raise their kids in a godly form. And so they say, well, come over here. And the women fall for the trap. thinking, oh, well, I'm going to educate my children about God. No, 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 no. It's a trap. But they go to church, Jehovah's Witness church, right? And they don't learn anything. They don't learn anything about God. And the memories that they have are not good, fond memories. They're a lot of times bad memories. So I was telling my brother, we had a whole bunch of talent in men. We had a whole bunch of talented elders, but they were stuck on stupid. Imagine, for example, in your congregation, in ours, we had a guy, a contractor, electrical and construction contractor. Imagine if you have all of these men in the trades of construction, and then Sunday, after you do your choir, you sing, you praise Jesus. Okay, fine. But then everybody goes outside, and you know that your kid is going to um, fix a false wall outside, and it's plastered with holes. And all of the kids are going to learn how to patch drywall. And the other elder is going to teach kids how to hang a ceiling fan and how to put in a new receptacle. Little things like that. And you teach boys and girls, teenagers. And then the next week, you have other men. In our congregation, we have a man who was an excellent cook. And imagine if he would have taught, because he was a great baker, imagine if he would have taught the kids, hey, we're going to build a 3-layer wedding cake, 4-layer wedding cake. I'm going to show you guys how to do it. And everybody goes to church. After they sing praise to Jesus, they start building a cake. And they're teaching the kids. And then you have others, right? You have people who know how to sew, seamstress. You have people who know how to cook, and you teach people how to cook. And the Mexicans, we should teach our kids how to make tortillas, how to make tamales. It's a staple. We should know how to do that. And then what do? We go to church. We're all bringing value. Now, I know this sounds a little bit crazy, but Lynette Zhang was right. It doesn't matter what organization it is. People should be bringing value to the table. And we as Jehovah's Witnesses didn't bring any value. And we had people with great skills, and we threw them all away. Why? Because this is how it works. You live here, and you're worried about what somebody over there says. That is the stupidest thing you can do in religion, where you're worried about what somebody 2, 3, 4,000 miles away, that you'll never meet, what they have to say about a subject. The local people should be teaching their children, things that they're going to need on a daily basis. And everything's done with godly devotion, with godly instruction. And so what happens is the kid grows up, and he looks back when he was a kid and says, man, I used to love going to church. No shit, because you were learning something. The people that say I love going to school when I was a kid is because they were actually learning something. But the kids that says I hate schools because they weren't learning anything. See, because the people were not bringing anything of value. And that's the whole problem with this religion, Jehovah's Witnesses. Now, other religions I don't like. I know they're cults too, but at least they bring value to their church services. But as Jehovah's Witnesses, when you think about it, all of us, we used to meet 3 times a week. 3 times a week. If you would have dedicated 3 nights a week into anything, playing a piano or a guitar or any instrument, 3 nights a week. If you would have made tamales 3 nights a week, doesn't matter. If you would have baked cakes 3 times a week, it doesn't, pick anything. If you would have worked on your car 3 times a week, after a year, after 2 years, after 3 years, guess what? If you were making tamales, you'd probably own a restaurant. If you were fixing cars, you probably own a business, being a mechanic, because see, you're bringing value. If you played the piano 3 nights a week instead of going to the Kingdom Hall, you probably would be in the music industry, or you would be making side money, probably giving lessons to rich people and their kids. Whatever it is, you can insert whatever. Those 3 hours a week, 3 meeting nights, there was an equivalent of what, 5 hours? Plus prep time, plus the time you spent after the meeting, plus the time you prepared. So when you start thinking about this, the Jehovah's Witnesses don't bring value to their service. There's nothing of value. So if you want to go to church still, if you're not learning anything and they're not bringing anything of value, you need to leave and go somewhere where there's somewhere that is giving you something of value for your time. It's an exchange. And that's the problem I have with the Jehovah's Witnesses. And looking back, I feel so bad because it's a waste of time. It's a waste of opportunity that we had. We basically flushed it down the toilet, you know. And I told my brother, it was like that Marlon Brando moment when he goes, "I could have been somebody. I could have been a contender."
So what happens? He gets the title shot outdoors in a ballpark, and what do I get? A one-way ticket to Palookaville. You was my brother, Charlie. You should have looked out for me a little bit. You should have taken care of me just a little bit so I wouldn't have to take them dives for the short-end money.
Well, I had some bets down for you. You saw some money.
You don't understand. I could have had class. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody. Instead of a bum, which is what I am. Let's face it. It was you, Charlie.
Well, we could have been a lot of things, but the people that were with us didn't bring any value. The people that were with us were saying, worship those men in New York, people that we'll never see, people that we'll never know. That's not bringing value. So I hope you like the Lynette Zhang. I know she was talking about gold and silver and investments and other stuff, but basically the premise is the same. If they're not bringing value to the table, if they're not making you a better person, if they're not educating you, if they're not making you think, you don't have to agree with you, just making you think, then you need to go somewhere else where you are being challenged, where you are learning. Because life is short. And it really does suck living your whole life in a religious cult that doesn't bring value. Okay, I blabbered way too much. So I hope you liked the video and plan to do something because the final countdown is coming. 1 year anniversary. Stephen Lett says, hey, you know, the last days of the last days of the last days. And you can't have it both ways. You can't say that it's days and then years. No, that's not how it works. You can't say it's days, then it's months, now it's years. No. So we'll definitely be holding Stephen Lett's prophecy and putting his feet to the fire. Okay, I hope you liked the video, and I look forward to talking to you very soon.